Most men go through life searching for obvious signs of attraction. They look for loud signals, playful flirting, dramatic compliments, constant texting, or exaggerated body language. Because of this, they often miss the signals that actually matter. Real attraction is rarely loud. It doesn't always announce itself with grand gestures. Instead, it appears in the quiet details of interaction, in the pauses between sentences, in the way someone subtly adjusts their behavior when you're around. Many men feel invisible to the women they admire, but the truth is usually very different. The problem is not that they are unnoticed. The problem is that they are looking for the wrong signs. Attraction is often subtle, psychological, and deeply instinctive. When you learn to recognize these quiet signals, you begin to realize that you may be far more attractive than you ever believed. One of the most fascinating signs of attraction happens on a subconscious level. Psychologists often describe it as a form of neural synchronization, where two people begin to subtly align their emotional and behavioral rhythms. When a woman finds a man genuinely attractive, her brain starts to unconsciously tune into his presence. This is more than simple mimicry like crossing arms or copying gestures. It's about energy. Pay attention to the pace of the interaction. If you speak calmly and slowly, does she gradually slow down her speech too? If you lean back comfortably, does she relax and open her posture? When someone is drawn to you, their nervous system begins to mirror your emotional state. It's almost like two radio frequencies quietly aligning with each other. Many men believe they must constantly match a woman's mood or energy to keep her interested. But in reality, attraction often works in the opposite direction. When she begins matching your energy, it suggests that she feels safe and intrigued enough to step into your frame. Your calm presence becomes something grounding for her, something she naturally wants to align with. Another powerful but often misunderstood signal of attraction is subtle vulnerability. Most people assume that attraction means effortless conversation and constant confidence. But sometimes the opposite is true. A woman who is perfectly articulate and composed around everyone else might suddenly become slightly nervous around the man she finds truly attractive. She might stumble over a word, laugh unexpectedly, or hesitate before sharing an opinion. This isn't weakness, awkwardness. It's actually a sign that your opinion matters to her. When someone values your judgment, they become more aware of how they are perceived. Because of this, they begin to test the waters emotionally. She might share a small personal story, mention a dream she has, talk about an unusual hobby, or express an opinion that she wouldn't normally reveal to just anyone. These moments are quiet invitations. She is allowing you to see a deeper part of her personality and watching how you respond. She's not necessarily looking for blind agreement. What she's really observing is whether you acknowledge her perspective with confidence and respect. When a woman reveals parts of herself that she usually hides from the average person, it often means she sees you as more than just another face in the crowd. You become someone whose reaction carries real emotional weight. Another subtle but incredibly revealing signal involves attention, specifically, where her attention naturally goes when she isn't consciously controlling it. Human attention often reveals our deepest interests without us realizing it. Imagine being in a group conversation where someone makes a joke or shares an interesting story. People usually glance toward the person whose opinion they value the most to gauge their reaction. If her eyes instinctively look toward you first, that small moment speaks volumes. It means your reaction matters more to her than anyone else's in the room. Your approval, amusement, or response becomes the emotional compass she briefly checks. This kind of attention is rarely deliberate. It's instinctive. But there's an even deeper layer to observe. What happens after the interaction ends? When you leave a conversation or step away from a group, does she immediately shift her focus to someone else, or does she linger for a moment? Sometimes attraction creates a small vacuum of attention. When someone whose presence is meaningful leaves the space, there can be a brief pause where the mind processes the interaction. Her gaze might drift toward the door you exited through, or she might remain momentarily still before returning to the conversation. These moments are subtle, almost invisible if you aren't paying attention, but they reveal the emotional imprint your presence left behind.